Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the Marvel movie currently in theaters, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Welcome, everybody. I can't remember, is this in large or is this shrink thing? I probably better not play with this, honestly. So before I get started here, let me take care of some business and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So I'm going to kind of do a spoiler free version of this to begin with. Honestly, as I was telling my friend who I went and saw this in the movie theater with, if you're going into a third movie in a franchise and you haven't seen the first two movies, it's kind of like walking into Return of the Jedi when you haven't seen A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, or walking into Revenge of the Sith, again, Star Wars, when you haven't seen the first two movies either. Um, why are you coming into a third movie that's built, it's built on the backs of the other two? Anyway, spoiler free version. The Pym family is what I'm going to say here, with you know um along with Scott and Cassie, end up getting sucked down into the quantum realm, and craziness ensues from there. So yes, I know what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for the critics. Now the critics have hit this one hard. The audience has not. The audience has not hit this hard. They're actually, I think it's 85% now for the audience and like 40 some odd percent for the critics. So fuck the critics on this one, is what I'm going to say. Um, it is a weird, whacked out movie, and that's what it's supposed to be. This is, and again, I was telling my friend who I saw this in the movie theater with, this was the least Marvel movie out of all the Marvel movies. It's more Kirby-esque than anything else. For those of you who don't know who Jack Kirby is, Jack Kirby was an artist, started off, when Marvel pretty much started. So he drew the Fantastic Four. He also worked for DC as well later on in his later years. But created Galactus, did some really great stuff with the Silver Surfer, Hulk. He drew Hulk, Thor. He drew a lot of the early Avengers stuff as well. And then he also, when he went over to DC, he created Darkseid, the New Gods, and really started getting into some trippy shit by the 70s. In the 70s, he did a lot of blacklight paintings, things of that nature, some very weird, otherworldly kind of artwork. And this is a guy who served in World War II, was a classically trained artist, if you will, and uh, did some really weird, whacked out shit, in his later years. And some of my favorite artwork, by the way, as well as Kirby. I love Kirby esque stuff. And this is a Kirby esque movie. This is everything you see from the backgrounds to some of the characters that are in this. These are all Kirby esque. If you're not into seeing something different and you really just want to see a superhero movie, go and watch Wakanda Forever. It's on Disney Plus right now. You can go and watch that there. It's there for you. You can watch the Avengers as well. All those Marvel movies are on Disney Plus right now. You can also go watch the DC movies if you want to as well. This is a weird trip into another world, and that is, it feels almost like a Star Wars movie in a way, and that is, um, kind of by design. That is by design, and that's what you want this. It's also roughly a family movie. I'm gonna say this much, character development is not really part of this movie. It's really more moving along the Kang storyline. Now, if you haven't seen the first two Ant-Mans and Loki, the Loki series on Disney Plus, you're probably going to be lost in this, quite honestly, because there is a lot of stuff that ties back to that. That said, there is one thing that I had a little problem with, which I'll get into the spoiler version of it, but overall, yes, it's worth your time. I saw it in this thing called Screen X, and I've talked about it before here on my podcast. Screen X is a theater that actually shows you, so the front screen, you have your normal screen, but certain scenes actually get projected onto the side walls of the theater. So it's really kind of cool. So you get a panoramic view of certain scenes, like Spider-Man No Way Home, when Doctor Strange levitates and he's doing the spell over New York to make everyone forget who Peter Parker is. Um, it's projected on all around you, so you see the skyline of New York wrapped around you. It was really fucking cool. Same thing with this. There are scenes where you want to have that wraparound view, that panoramic view of this world that you're in, and they did something a little more cinematic this time around too, almost liken it to a stage play where they when you come to the end of the action in that scene, they would just slowly fade out the side walls and go back to the center screen again, and it was really kind of neat. It actually added to the experience of watching this, and I really dug this movie. I really liked it. There are two after credit scenes as well. There's a mid credit scene and a very end credit scene, so if you are going to go watch it, stay tuned for that. So, is it worth your time? Yes, it's worth your time. It's fun. It's this is also the mix of comedy and action and drama that Thor Love and Thunder missed. This they actually hit the mark with this one. Thor Love and Thunder was trying for the same thing, but I think the Kiwi humor of it didn't land well, and this actually lands a bit better. It's actually more balanced off of that. So, yes, there is comedy to it, but there is a lot of drama to it as well. There are some stakes to it as well. Um, and that's where I'm going to leave you off with the non spoiler version of this. So, with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie. If you haven't watched the movie, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Giving you enough time to hit pause, whatever you need to do, all that kind of stuff. All right, we good? Yeah. All right. You still here? So, one of the guys I've got back here is M.O.D.O.K. Uh, yes, this is a comic book character, M.O.D.O.K. He does look ridiculous. He is supposed to look ridiculous. He's a giant head with little tiny arms, little teeny tiny body, and he sits on a rocket ship, a rocket chair that he pilots around. He's in the movie. And yes, he is as ridiculous as he sounds. Um, and actually, from the first movie, Yellow Jacket, that we saw, he is the one who becomes M.O.D.O.K. And I actually had that theory when in the very first Ant-Man, when he just started shrinking down to his head remained the same, but his arms were sucking into him, and the body was sucking into his head, and then he disappeared into the quantum realm. Yes, that is exactly what happened as he became M.O.D.O.K. I'll say this much for this character. This is the only bone of contention I have with the movie is the special effects, the CGI. They use a lot of multiple houses, VFX houses, visual effects houses for the CGI in this movie. And you can tell the different CGI houses by M.O.D.O.K. alone. So the first time you see M.O.D.O.K., it looks like they took someone's face and just stretched it over a blank 3D model. So it looks pretty horrible, uh couple other scenes in same kind of thing. It's not until almost the last two scenes that they actually model the character, so you actually have you fleshed out a nose, a mouth, eyes, all that kind of stuff, and then mapped the actor's face onto that model. That's when they did it, and that's when it looked better. And at the very end, that's threw me off, quite honestly, and that threw me out of the movie. Other than that, the rest of it was great. I mean, I love the characters that were in it. Um, I love the world that was in it. We find out Janet Van Dyne why she hasn't talked about the quantum realm, and it's mainly because of Kang, and Jonathan Majors, playing this version of Kang, was a different he plays a different version of Kang in this one. The Kang the Conqueror is who he plays in this, and he is frightening in this one. You see the power that he has once he gets his power back, he just starts obliterating people. At one point he just has his hand, and he has a beam that comes out of his hand. He's just frying, just vaporizing people as he waves his hands across and screaming out as he's doing this. And this is, it's actually they did a really good job of this, of showing you that this is a character that, unleashed upon the world, is pretty fucked up, and why he should not be allowed to come back. He was exiled into the quantum realm by all the other Kangs, the other multiverse Kangs, if you will, because basically what he was doing. He was doing war. He was committing war on all the other Kangs. He was, and trying to become the only one, the only Kang. He was trying to become, he who remains, if you will. But they exiled him down to the quantum realm and took his power away. And Janet, when she found him down there, helped him, not knowing who he was, helped him reestablish his power core. And then when she touched it, which it's linked to his mind, she saw everything that he had done, all the worlds that he had destroyed, which, by the way, is going to play into further Marvel stuff. So, Secret Wars, which is coming out, is going to be based on the 2015 Secret Wars series, not the 1980s version of Secret Wars comics. So, in the 2015 Secret Wars comic, um, we have that pesky little thing, the convergence that Doctor Strange was talking about in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where you have two different universes colliding together and only one can survive. If both do nothing, then they both get obliterated. But if one destroys the other, then that world gets saved, the one that destroys the other one. That is what Secret Wars is about the Avengers having to go through and actually obliterate other worlds that are crashing into ours, or into the 616 universe, if you will. So it's going to play into a bigger role here, and that's kind of what they started here. They haven't really mentioned it because it's too much to mention. That's why you're going to have it in the Secret Wars. Um, I'm going to hit the stingers that happened, the mid-credit stingers, as well right now. So we do get to see, Kang, all the different versions of Kang, and there are Immortus and Ramatut, and there's one other version of Kang that is calling together all the Kangs from the multiverse to get together, and they need to, of course, go against the 616, the Earth 616, which is where we are at, what we're watching these Avengers movies from. And they are declaring war against that Earth, is what they are doing. So this is a big deal here. In the very end credit scene, we see Loki and Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, sitting in a turn of the 19th century vaudevillian act, uh, by someone named Victor Timely, who, of course, is a version of Kang. And Mobius is going, "This is the guy you're afraid of?" And Loki's like, "Yeah, we really need to watch out about this guy." And that's kind of where that leaves off, because that's going to kick off into season 2 of Loki, which is coming, I believe, this summer. So, um, those are the two stingers that we got at the end of this movie. The rest of this, having Kang defeated by Ant-Man in the quantum realm, or the Kang the Conqueror, I should say, defeated in the quantum realm at the very end, where Scott is walking through San Francisco, and like he did at the very beginning, where he is going, "Oh, everything's great now, we've saved the world, all this stuff." He goes, "Well, wait a minute, did we save the world? What did Kang mean by something worse is coming along? Have I doomed everything by actually getting rid of Kang?" And he starts thinking about it for a second, and then he's like, whatever, everything should be fine. And yeah, that's exactly it, is that he hasn't told anyone else. Who is he going to tell? Is he going to tell he can't tell Tony Stark? Tony Stark's dead. Bruce Banner he could tell, Hulk, I guess. But what's he gonna do? Captain America, he's gone too at this point. So you really don't have a big brain out there other than Bruce Banner. And Bruce Banner is really just about, gamma radiation. He's really not about the rest of the physics, if you will. Um, and Hank doesn't care anything about, this stuff other than the Pym particles in his ants. So he's not really caring about the rest of the world in general, what's happening there. This is a much bigger deal, and that's how we are kicking off phase four here. Phase four, I think, is where we're at, or phase five. I think phase five. Yeah, we're in phase five here. And this is a much bigger deal. The multiverse and these secret wars, if you will, and these convergences are going to be paramount and take place in all of these different movies now. So the next movie that we have coming up is in the Marvel series here. And I honestly, I have to go take a look at suspendedfanimation.com where I've got everything there. Um, is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, right? So we've got well, really it's I believe Spider-Man, no, Spider-Man Across the Multiverse is Spider-Verse is going to happen on June 2nd. Doesn't tie in any of this, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 does, from what I understand, I guess by the end of it. So that is going to be our next Marvel movie, and that happens May 5th. Yeah, May 5th is when that happens. And then after that, we have the Marvels, which is going to be in November. So, of course, we're going to have some TV series scattered throughout there, but I don't know what and when is coming out because they haven't been released as of yet. The Reginator says, I think Scott should tell Doctor Strange because he knows about the multiverse and he could help prepare for the King Dynasty. I agree with you, Reginator, and welcome, by the way. Um, he should tell Doctor Strange, but I don't even know if he knows how to get in contact with Doctor Strange since he is in San Francisco and Doc Strange is in New York. And I don't think the two have really interacted. So I don't think he knows about Doctor Strange or that Doctor Strange could even help him with the multiverse at this point. So, yeah, there's some pretty big ramifications going on. I know a lot of people kind of dismiss this movie and go, "Oh, well, it really has nothing to do with Phase 5. It's just supposed to be a fun little movie." It's not. It actually kicks off in a big fucking way. Um, so yeah, it's just people kind of pushed it aside because of the comedy that's in there. Yes, the comedy is in there, but it is supposed to be there for, if you will, it's kind of like the fool that opens up Pandora's box. That's where you're at there. Yeah. Drink the goo, exactly. Dick Click. Drink the goo. I did find that funny too, is that you have to drink the goo in order to find out what everyone's saying in the quantum realm there. That was a neat little, that felt very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, is really did, where they have Scott wanting, trying to drink the goo and they're chanting drink the goo. Uh, Pot latching. So, this was a fun movie. This also ties in a big way, big way into kicking off phase 5 of the Marvel movies here. And I'm looking forward to a lot of yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I know, Dick Glick. And by the way, is that your real name, by the way? So I was making sure. Um, this is a great movie. Go and watch it. It's a lot of fun. I want to go back again and see this in the theater again in 3D, which I normally hate 3D to tell you the truth, but I kind of want to see what they've got in store for that, how they did the 3D transfer. I'm going to buy it, of course, when it comes out on DVD or 4K, if you will, and looking forward to the next one. I want to see what we have more in Phase 5 here. What's going to happen? Um, and I love Jonathan Majors, by the way, as Kang. He's been doing a great job so far. I mean, coming in at In Loki season 1 as He Who Remains, it was a very subdued version of Kang, and now we, of course, we have the opposite of that, the extreme version of Kang, but then also seeing him in the mid-credit scene as Ramatut Immortus, and, I'm blanking on the 3rd character now. I used to know all these different versions of Kang, way back when, but, you get older and you forget about this stuff. Um, and of course, Victor Timely at the very end there, which is also another version of Kang. So really good, fun movie. And that 2 hours, it's only 2 hours and 5 minutes long. It flies by really fast, really, really fast. And great visuals as well. And by the way, this little guy here, uh, Disney California Adventure, by the way. So the Avengers, what is it, the Pym kitchen is what it was. That's where I got this thing. So if people are wondering, they also have the blue one as well, which I need to buy the blue one at some point when I go back. Anyway, with that said, it is worth your time. Go and watch it. I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. Um, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow I'm going to be off. Wednesday is going to be the Bad Batch. Thursday and Friday I'm going to be off. I believe Saturday, it's either Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to do another version of is it Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it because I haven't done that in a while. And then Monday of next week will be The Last of Us. I'll be covering The Last of Us again there. So, thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat or today in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you know who you are out there. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good rest of your day. If you're celebrating President's Day weekend or relaxing President's Day weekend, hopefully you had a good, relaxing day off and get back to work now. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. It doesn't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. Have a good rest of your day. See you on Wednesday. Have a good one, everyone.